Ladies and gentlemen, in this video we are going to learn how to prove the cosine rule. For triangle ABC, the cosine rule states that c squared is equals to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos angle C. Now the angles are going to be represented by the capital letters and the sides are going to be represented by the small letters. So in order for you to prove this equation to be true, you first need to start by constructing your height for this triangle. We're going to label this height as AD. Since this A here denotes the what? The distance from B to C. Now, having this AD, we're going to label it as H since it's our height. Now, we are also going to label the distance from D to C as X and label the distance from B to B to D to be A minus X, since the whole line is A and the small portion of it is X. So you're going to subtract the small portion from the whole thing in order for you to find the remaining distance, which is the distance from B to D. Now we are going to continue by applying our Pythagoras theorem to this triangle here, ABD. So for triangle ABD, our Pythagoras theorem will be c squared, which is our hypotenuse. C squared is equals to our adjacent is a minus x. So it's going to be a minus x squared plus h squared, since it's our opposite side or our height, h squared. Now we're going to simplify this equation. Expand here the bracket, minus x, a minus x plus h squared. C squared will then be a multiplied by a is a squared, a multiplied by negative x is negative ax, negative x multiplied by positive a is going to be negative ax, and negative x multiplied by negative x is going to be positive. Negative times negative is going to be positive, so it's going to be positive x squared, and then plus h squared. Now we are going to conclude our simplification by adding the like terms. A squared minus, these are like terms, so it's going to be 2ax plus x squared plus h squared. Now, this is the skeleton of our original equation of the cosine rule. So we just need to make a few substitutions with the equations that we're going to formulate by this triangle ADC. Now for triangle ADC, you are going to first apply the what? The Pythagoras theorem. So the hypotenuse is going to be b, then you have b squared here is equals to, the adjacent is going to be x squared plus the opposite side or the hypotenuse. The height, which is h squared. Now this is our Pythagoras theorem. So now we are going to also apply the what? The cosine trig ratio for the triangle ADC. So it's going to be cos angle C is equals to, remember, cos is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. So our adjacent is x and our hypotenuse side is b. We're going to now make x subject of the formula multiplied by b both sides, multiplied by b. This will cancel this and will be remaining with x is equals to b cos c, cos angle C. Now we are going to make substitutions. Before we make substitutions, we're going to make x squared a subject of the formula this side. B squared is going to minus h squared will then be x squared. Now you've made the x squared subject of the formula. So now the next step, we're going to substitute with is x squared by b minus h squared on our equation for ABD. So for triangle ABD, we are going to have c squared is equals to a squared minus 2ax plus x squared plus height squared or h squared. C squared will then be a squared minus 2ax plus, where there's x squared, you substitute with what? B squared minus height squared. So you are going to have open bracket b squared minus h squared close bracket plus h squared. Continuing, c squared is equals to a squared minus 2ax plus, these brackets are insignificant in this equation since they're not going to make any change or difference. So we're going to remove them. B squared minus h squared plus h squared. So these are like terms and it's positive and negative, so they're going to add up to 0. You can simply cancel them out. So now you're going to remain with c squared is equals to a squared minus 2ax plus b squared plus 0. Now we are going to substitute where there's x with b cos angle c. Where there's x, you're going to substitute with what? B cos angle c. So now you're going to have c squared is equals to a squared minus 2a open bracket. Where there's x, you substitute with b cos angle c. Now 0, you don't pay attention to 0. You can continue with the final touch. C squared is going to be equals to a squared. Here there's b squared. Here there's b squared. So you're going to have 2a multiplied by b cos angle c, which is going to be 2ab cos angle c plus b squared. For the final touch, we rearrange the equation to a squared plus, you'll have this b squared here, b squared minus 2ab cos c. Now this is the proof of the cosine rule. So now these are all the steps that you need to do in order for you to prove the cosine rule. Any questions may be left at the comment section, then I'll answer them in the next video. And also, if you're interested for me to cover different topics or specific topics, you can also inform me on the comment section. Thanks, and like and subscribe.